Sup everyone, we're back with more Grady's Attorney 2 Resolve. And this time, well, maybe we'll get to the trial, maybe not, but we've got some more stuff to talk about here as she's leaving. I've told you everything. Yes, I'm very sorry to have had to drag up such painful memories for you. Last time this lady almost committed suicide, so that was not fun. No, it's fine. Miss Green, please promise us you won't try to do anything like that again. Yes, don't worry. Your detective friend has the bottle now anyway. And besides, I've been stabbed in the back and had a close shave with a bottle of poison, and I'm still here. I think I'm destined to see things through to the end. It might sound a little conceited, but, well, that's how all this has made me feel. I hope you find something else in the future for you. Leaving Miss Green and St. Bartholomew's behind, we made our way back to Baker Street with Mr. Sholmes. Whoa. Yo, I love the look of this. Wait, oh wait, this is just... Sorry, this is just Briar Road, but at night. Well, it would appear we've reached the end of the investigative trial for today. Yes, it's late. And Mr. Naruhodo? Did you discover anything that may be of use to you in court tomorrow, do you think? Details about Mr. Shamspeare, Mr. Garrett's lodgings, the convict Selden? There are many facets to this case, and we've yet to see to the heart of it, if you ask me. That's my feeling, anyway. I can't help wondering about the results of the analysis. Into Mr. Natsume's tea, you mean? Yes, will they have found Strike 9 in it or not? I think the answer's a no, perhaps. Well, I fear that either way. It will be hard to escape the grip of our friend Mr. Reaper. Oh dear. Yes, Barrack von Zykes. But I wish you every success, of course. And though I was late to rise this morning, tomorrow will be a new dawn. I intend to spring from my bed at a crisp hour and attend the trial. Mr. Sholmes, you're going to come? Somehow I doubt that. I think he's on the sleep in again. Indeed, whatever happens, I shall be there. Assuming my eyelids cooperate in the morning. Well, now I think we've done all we can do. All that's left is to remain focused and keep fighting for Mr. Natsume's cause until the very end. Main theme. Da, da, da. London, the world's most prosperous city, home to some 6 million people, of which only like 10 or 12 actually become jurors. Kind of weird. But away from the razzle-dazzle, down back alleys and behind bricked-up windows, the lonely lurk. Sosuke-san had battled long and hard with loneliness during his many months here, and so I felt honor-bound to battle equally hard for my compatriot, to lift the curse that gripped him. As Mr. Sholmes said, tomorrow would be a new dawn, for all of us. And I really was only like 4 minutes off from having a good end to last episode, wasn't I? Oh well. You can't perfectly judge these things when you're playing blind, I guess. A shame. But we only have I guess that means we're gonna get a fresh start to the trial. Can't always be perfect. But here we go. 23rd of February, 9:20 a.m. The Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. Place your bets, folks. Is Sholmes gonna be here or not? Sosuke, you fine, man? He's turned into a cat again. Yeah, I don't know what to make of this. This is it then, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, it's time to put an end to this now. to the miserable curse that has been plaguing Mr. Natsume. To everything. And in my own small way, I shall do everything I can to help you. Thank you. I'm still wondering why Sholmes told us to never speak of this case to anyone. There's gotta be a reason, but I haven't seen it quite yet. I always appreciate your help, Mr. Sato. Suffering Soseki selfishly sidelined. Ah. Good morning to you, Mr. Natsume. Good morning. Good morning, locum. Good morning, locum student Mr. Naruto Esquire. I don't know. Listen to you two chatting away happily as if the main player of today's trial isn't here. Why would you do that? Why? Oh dear, we didn't mean to cause offense, Mr. Natsume. I thought perhaps that because you had your eyes shut so tightly, you were meditating, finding inner calm. It seemed wrong to disturb you. I was waiting. What's the matter, Mr. Natsume? You seem different somehow today. Why, naturally, that's because I've attained spiritual enlightenment. The path of literature, you see, is a journey to discover one's own depth. Oh, such like. That's the sort of morning conversation I was hoping for. That's why I had my eyes shut. I missed the signs, I'm afraid. Somehow. You'll have to forgive me. And you mustn't talk of your path leading you to death, Mr. Natsume. That was just an example. Oh yes, there it is. Inner calm. Hey, he said inner calm. He didn't say anything about exterior calm. You barely came to see me at all yesterday. I was sure you'd abandon me and return to our beautiful long-lost homeland. We've not even been in Great Britain a week yet. Oh my god, we really haven't. I forgot about that. Yes, well, anyway. I intend to set everything straight in court today. I'm determined to uncover the truth. I've actually reached an important decision myself. Oh, what sort of decision? I shall fill you in after the trial. Alright. It would seem Mr. Sholmes isn't coming today after all. Big shocker there. It's a very clever message, I think. My dear fellows, you must win this battle on your own merits. It's a very clear message, I think, that he's overslept again. The great detective, my arch nemesis. Long may he stay away, if you ask me.
Defendant and your legal representative. The trial is about to begin. Make your way into the courtroom immediately.
Alright. Today, once again, we face the Reaper. And when the Reaper stands for the prosecution, the defendant's fate is sealed. But I don't believe in that legend any more than I believe in Soseki-san's curse. The truth is hidden here somewhere, and I won't let it escape me. I have to keep believing in my client and keep fighting to the very end. That's all. Amen. February 23rd, 9:40 a.m. The Old Bailey, courtroom. Here we are again. Day 2. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is ready. Yes, the defense is ready. Very good. And now I call upon the 6 ladies and gentlemen of the jury, chosen by lot to represent the will of the people in this trial. Are you ready to proceed? Absolutely. Justice will be done, you mark my words. I feel obliged to say I feel especially ruthless on days when my hat is sitting just right. Oh, well, I wonder if you could adjust my hat for me, and please be as ruthless as you like. Wow, kinky. Thieves deserve to die, if you ask me, especially gas thieves. I've no sympathy for the man at all. Look, I said it yesterday and I'll say it again now. I don't have time for this. I've got my own problems. Oh, may the Lord show us all the light here and lead his flock to a righteous verdict again today.
Now, Lord Van Zykes, what can you tell us?
I'm brooding.
The prosecution's report, please, for the court. In relation to the theory expounded by the defense yesterday regarding the defendant's tea.
So he does have the results. Let me pour a glass. Before the prosecution delivers the black news about the black tea belonging to the black god in the dark. To the blackguard. Pray allow me a moment to savor a liquid of a more sanguine hue. God, this man. I haven't... He's so posh. In fact, I'll defer to the good detective for the report. Here's to you, Inspector. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. As indicated by the defense, we found a bar of soap just outside the victim's window in the snow. There was indeed a frozen reddish liquid in a little depression on the top of it. Yes, that's the tea. That's what Mr. Natsume brought with him that night. Well, the brains at the yard analyzed it, and yes, you're right. It was tea. And there wasn't a trace of strychnine or any other toxic substance in it. No poison at all. In other words, the tea that the defendant brought with him to the victim's room is innocent. It's in the clear.
What a revelation!
Booyah, suck it, nerd. As I suspected. This makes it quite clear. The defendant, Mr. Sasuke Natsume, is blameless.
My learned friend is jumping to conclusions again. A typical Nipponese reaction.
What?
Yes, it's true. No poison was found and the few drops of liquid recovered from the soap on the window ledge.
But, what logic is that?
Would you take a drop from the Thames and conclude that the water in the ocean isn't salty? My word, the water in the ocean is extremely salty, Counsel.
That is another chalice I have destroyed.
Exactly.
Unfit for drinking, just as the victim's tea was on the night in question, as the court has already heard. Bitter was the precise word from the lips of Mr. William Shamspeare, whom the prosecution now calls back to the stand. Yeah, I'd like to see you try, bro. Go on, call out your witness. We'll see how it goes, buddy.
Very well, I will uphold the prosecution's request.
Mr. Shamspeare. Yes, it sounds like we're gonna have to have another confrontation with our theatrical friend.
Bailiff, show Mr. Shamspeare to the stand.
Let's get to it. Hop, hop, chop, chop. There he is.
Mr. William Shamspeare, the victim of this despicable crime.
Oh heaven, oh hell, do you command me to remember? Forsooth, 'twas I, Shamspeare, did have a belly full of the foul fluid given in mine innocence.
Yes, but as was revealed in yesterday's proceedings, the witness is not as innocent as we had perhaps first been led to believe.
By using bars of soap such as this, he has been stealing gas from the supply company, yes. One may smile and be a villain. Forsooth, 'twas I, Shamspeare, did have a room full of the sweet fuel given. That's right, fellow jurors, don't forget this man is a rotten thief.
I haven't forgotten. Kept all that about the ice coins a tidy secret, didn't you? Should have owned up sooner.
Arrest him, I say. Arrest him at once, and let him feel the sting in my tail. Oh, indeed, by dint of vile and cowardly means have I plotted to further mine own ends, I confess. Thou wouldst not pardon my sins, of that I am sure. If you acknowledge your wrongdoing, what exactly are you doing here? Cowards die many times before their deaths. And for a coward such as I, a death be well deserved. But... Oh, he's doing the same pose that Sholmes did yesterday. Would it that a still greater crime passeth unpunished? For lo, the hairy-faced gentleman of farther east than Verona did contrive to poison me.
Objection!
But there was no poison in the tea found in your room. The police have attested to that.
What the defense would assert as an inconsistency will quickly be cleared up by the witness's testimony. Is that not so, Mr. Shamspeare?
Verily, my liege, I would most gladly speak.
Very well, let the witness testify to explain this inconsistency. Tell the court why is it that poison apparently entered your potty. Yes, your potty. Your potty pooty pooty. Your pooty potty pooty potty. Though none was found in the tea.
Judge, you okay over there?
Yes, I'm perfectly potty potty but perfectly fine.
The Japanese man did come to my chamber with tea brewed in a pot. 'Twas in my cup alone that the wicked miscreant secretly poured his wicked poison. Whilst feigning distraction in our debate, ne'er did a drop of his own drink pass his lips. When he departed by and by, I did use the tea that remained in his cup to make my coins of ice. Thus 'tis no surprise that poison be not found in the tea I did pour into the molds of soap. I don't know about that one, Chief.
The poison was slipped into the cup after the tea had been poured. The normal way for poison to be administered. In my experience. Quite, otherwise it would be disastrous if the poisoner were to mix up the cups, for instance.
But no poison bottle was found at the scene.
Because, quite simply, the Japanese took the bottle back to his own room. The absence of a vessel containing the poison only becomes problematic when considering suicide.
I knew that.
By now it should be perfectly clear. A bar or two of cheap soap is wholly insufficient to wash the deep stains of guilt from the accused's hands.
Sirs, madams, 'tis true that I, Shamspeare, be a common thief of gas. But, listen here, ladies and gentlemen.
Gotta bend it slowly into shape.
Sure.
Nailed it.
Wherefore would I lie? Verily I have no cause. I have naught to lose. Well,
I do declare. Thank you for your testimony, witness. Counsel, proceed with the cross-examination.
Hi. Yes, my lord. Into it we get. The first cross-examination of the episode, and of the second day. I like what I did. I timed my shiver in order to have it stop at the same time that I started talking, in order to make it sound extra cool. At least I think. I'd have to check back at the recording to see if it sounds stupid or not. I understand that you were already acquainted with Mr. Natsume, is that correct? I know thee not, old man. Fall to thy prayers. Do I know thee, or know thee not? Methinks 'tis all I can know, that thy destiny mingles with mine. You lost me at the first thee. Sound, sir. Thou must learn the English tongue, for thou turns thy hands to lawyering. I did, but I must have missed the archaic Elizabethan lecture. Yeah, Elizabethan. Verily and in truth, 'twas a fine flavored brew. Though a drop of poison did barb its sweetness, as the thorn doth barb the sweet rose. That, dear friends, be the simple truth. Listen to Mr. Shamspear. He seems in even better form than he was yesterday. Either that or I'm in worse form. That fated evening after I did dine, at Crubb's Grubbery, a local alehouse of a good report. Naught did pass my lips but the tainted black tea. But behold, the poison was not in the tea at first. Okay, what do you got then? 'Twas in my cup alone that the wicked miscreant secretly poured his wicked poison. Are you saying that you saw the moment when the poison was added to your tea? To have witnessed the act and then drink the tea. Thou dost describe the actions of a fool.
Quite so, quite so.
But no one likes going thirsty, do they? So now, when I quench the parched, would I have the choice? Actually, on the night in question, the water main was frozen, I believe, wasn't it? Were it not for the tea, in sooth I would sooner have died frozen than quenched or parched. Right. No ice coins means no heating.
The witness had more than one brush with death on the night in question, it would seem. Remind the court, Mr. Shamspear, as to whether the accused drank any of the tea which he brought with him.
With the greatest of pleasure, my liege. Yadun dun, yadun, yadun, yadun dun. But the teacup Mr. Natsume drank from was found completely empty at the scene. And let's not forget the defendant's maxim. Drink tea while it's hot. I did gulp from the poisoned cup that night, and in mine agony did I writhe uncontrolled. In fits of pain I did knock the fellow's cup, and its contents spilt as blood from a gaping wound, methinks. Though certainly 'twas after I made the coins of ice from his tea.
An upset cup was found on the table the victim was slumped over. There is no contradiction here.
It's true, there was no tea left in either cup that we found at the scene. But still, something about this statement is troubling me. Yes, of course, I know what it is. It's Mr. Natsume's wise drink tea while it's hot maxim, isn't it? No, I'm not sure that's it.
Thank you, witness. Sorry, I was drinking water. I get quite parched sitting next to these two giant flames next to me. Now, reiterate for the court what it is that occupied you after your guest had left and before you drank your tea.
Ba-dum-bum. He was making the ice coins. Wait, I went too far there. Ah, shit, I was at the wrong part of the song. I messed it up, and I had a mild voice crack. Yes, so that you could cheat the gas company, in fact, isn't that right? To cheat, or not to die. 'Tis life's only choice. You know, I thought he was about to say to cheat or not to cheat. Yes. Faith, to cheat be the wise choice, and mine occupation be not an ugly one. Prithee, dost thou not see beauty in the simplicity of the ruse? No, I don't. And be very sure, sir. Once this trial is over, Ultimate Gas will take you to task over this legal task. I shall not run, I shall not hide. Sooth to say, I have nowhere to run nor to hide. But, my lady, what wouldst thou with this pitiful player? Oh, I'll tell you what I like to do with you. Starting with the shoddy shirt on your back. It's not shoddy. 'Tis time for Shamspear dance. What a harsh world we live in.
The thieving of the gas was addressed in yesterday's proceedings.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean we can't dab on him by mentioning it more and more.
The prosecution calls on the defense to not muddy the waters with irrelevancy. consider that a warning, Council.
Oh, what? So it's okay when you guys trash on Gina because she's a pickpocket, but it's not okay when we trash on a dude for being a gas thief, huh? Frickin' bigotry.
Yes, my lord.
Why am I the one in trouble here? Exactly.
Mr. Shamsby, after the accused returned to his own lodgings, you used this tea to make your coins. Is that correct?
To cheat or to die. I did make my choice many moons ago. Alright. If having first made your special coins, it was after 2 in the morning when you collapsed. That would mean you can't have drunk any tea yourself until around that time. Once ensnared by literary debates, naught else be found in the furrows of the mind. The debate about Romeo and Juliet, you mean, and who was the stronger of the two. Rightly did I pay no heed to the tea as I wrestled with the abominable fellow. I don't remember debates like that when I was studying.
Are you suggesting that neither of you actually drank the tea whilst it was hot that evening?
My lord, wouldst thou be privy to some Shakespearean wisdom? Husband, wife, and tea ought I tepid be. Ah, yes, so very true. Everyone has different preferences when it comes to tea. I think you might have interpreted that wrongly. Comedy. So it's been proven that there was no poison in Sosuke-san's tea. That should be hugely in our favor. The atmosphere in this courtroom today. It feels as though everyone is against us, Mr. Naruhodo. Must be the Reaper's poison. I'm afraid that if we don't find a significant flaw in this testimony somewhere, the jury will pounce and find Mr. Natsume guilty. Really feels like you've jumped into the fire here. Let's just hope we landed in the frying pan. Okay. Twas in my cup that the... Remain in his cup. Okay, one sec here. Okay. Let me save. I'm honestly not too sure. There's a few places I could present here. And probably 1 or 2 things I can present each time. Oh, I actually got it right. Sweet. You claim that Mr. Natsume didn't drink a drop of tea on the night in question, and that you used the tea that was left in his cup to make your fake coins. But that's not possible. How, Chop logic. What is this, ye dark, ye clad fiend? You clad, bro. The 2 teacups from the scene, one used by the victim and the other by the defendant, have a clear difference between them. One that represents incontrovertible proof.
Incontrovertible?
What difference? Look at the insides of the cup. Just here, there's a clearly visible ring.
Yes, a tea ring. Commonplace enough. Indeed, such stains occur all too readily when one leaves tea in the cup for a while.
And yet, Mr. Natsume's cup has no such ring.
Good lord, you're right. It's completely clean.
And prithee, sir, what makest thou of it? Exactly what Mr. Natsume told the court yesterday. The Japanese saying he quoted. Drink tea while it's hot. That's right, yes. The jittery Mr. Natsume was true to his usual self that night and drank his tea in no time. Wow, that is a new face. He is shocked. I think that's the first genuine expression we've seen on this dude, besides when he got pissed off. If, as you claim in your testimony, he didn't touch a drop of his tea. A ring would have developed on the inside of his cup as well, after the several hours that he was left standing. But, I have to change his voice to match this. Good lord. In short, Mr. Shamsphere, you clearly lied to the court. Get thee to a nunnery!
Objection!
Let me take a sip to process this. As a rule, I fill my hallowed chalice up to 7 times during any one trial.
Oh my god. I can't believe— oh my god, I thought he was a frickin' ancestor of Edgeworth, but he's an ancestor of Goddo. You might want to keep that information to yourself. By one trial, do you mean in one sitting, or in, like, one entire trial? Because you've had, like, 3 or 4 chalices already in total. Maybe 5, even.
Yet on occasion, tedium distracts me and I pour more times than I intended until the bottle is dry.
Your drinking habits are fascinating, but irrelevant.
On the contrary, they illustrate the fickleness of human memory. To William Shamsphere.
Yes, my liege.
Though you previously stated that you made the coins of ice from the leftover tea in the accused cup, could it be that you were perhaps mistaken?
Eh?
Could it be that, yes, perhaps there was some tea remaining in the small teapot left at the scene?
Crush.
A fact that had vanished from your memory until now.
Faith, my liege, thou art a magician. For verily, 'tis as though thou hast seen with thine own eyes that night. What? What crockery are you gonna come up with? Forsooth, I was mistook. I did plan to use tea from the Japanese fellow's cup, but lo, when I looked, 'twas empty. And thus did I use the dregs that festered in the teapot, as my liege did suggest.
Objection!
And you've just suddenly remembered now that you made a mistake before. Are we supposed to believe that?
Objection!
People's memories are imperfect, my learned friend, which is why we rely on evidence instead. But in any case, it makes no difference.
If we rely on evidence, then maybe we should rely on the fact that there has been no poison found yet, huh? You ever think of that? You ever think of the fact that there's been no poison found, and that this supposed Strike 9 hasn't actually been seen?
The victim's most recent testimony tells us 2 things of note. Firstly, that the poison was put into the victim's teacup only. And secondly, that this spoilt cup was not the source of the insipid ice coins that have bewitched this court. Oh, the prosecution makes a fine summary of the facts. Furthermore, that testimony remains valid and in full support of the established facts. In other words, I win, you lose. The inconsistency claimed by the defense simply does not exist.
No.
What does this mean, then?
I do declare it means that there's no issue with the gas thief's testimony.
Apart from the bit about thieving gas, obviously.
My lords, ladies, and gentlemen of the jury, I do solemnly swear, after I did dine at Crubb's Grubbery Ale House that night, naught did pass my lips but the black tea given me by the Japanese, whose back be stooped as low as death.
And on what did you dine, sir?
Why, I did partake of my favorites. A broth is what's be called soup, and a leaf is what's be called salad.
As insalubrious a menu as the establishment where it was served.
But you gods will give us some faults to make us men. Willingly would I suffer what punishment 'tis seen fit to serve a wicked thief of gas, but I pray ye wise and noble fellows, ne'er forget the simple truth. That be one thing, and this be another. Uh-oh. Jurors all, your humble servant Shamspear doth entreat you punish the Japanese fellow for his sins.
My lord,
Already?
if I may speak, my lord. Yes, Mr. Foreman. I believe we may have been duped by that rotten defense lawyer.
By me? What do we do? I do declare you may be right. Also, God, I have a... This chair is real weird in that it's like... It's supposed to be bolted on both sides in order to have the arms stay in. But the right arm isn't in, so if it comes out, it just falls. And it's real stupid. And that's... You might hear that sound in the background on occasion. Well, we all know the waif there was making coins of ice to keep himself warm.
But this lawyer lad says if he's stealing gas, he deserves a dose of poison, eh? He's been leading us up the garden path. That's what he's been doing.
I really never said anything like that.
Well, what we just heard from the victim there has opened our eyes again. We've reached a decision this time, and we won't be swayed from it.
Oh boy, here we go.
The court acknowledges the position of the jury foreman, and will duly hear the jury's findings.
What? No! You can't yet!
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will state your decisions now.
Guilty!
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
Bam, 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 bam.
I hereby declare the jury to be in accord.
Oh, happy day. That is a new one. Frickin' sway of your hips, man. Stop it. Stop it! Get some help. How is this happening? My lord, the defense asserts its right to carry out a summation examination.
Very well. The court upholds the defense's right. Typical. My learned friend is unable to accept the obvious truth.
You pull this crap on us. You try to pull the wool over everyone's eyes. You're a frickin' false shepherd.
This trial will therefore enter its second summation examination immediately. Jurors, the court calls upon each of you to state the grounds upon which you find the defendant guilty of the crime of which he is charged.
Alright. Let's do this, shall we? Judicial findings. The jurors' contentions.
I'm a man of logic, me, and having considered all the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty.
I do agree that gas is far too expensive. I can quite understand why the man would want to avoid paying. The stuff explodes and it can poison you. It's absolutely lethal, gas is. Gas doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune to deliver it around the city and maintain the pipes.
Truth be told, the team my wife serves up for me is a little sketchy at times.
If nothing else past the victim's lips that night, there's no other explanation, is there?
Oh, I do feel that perhaps personal opinions about gas and its supply has influenced decisions somewhat. But never mind.
No, you really should mind. The truth is, our counter-argument wasn't as unassailable as we'd hoped. If Mr. Shamspear was poisoned, there can be no doubt of that. Are we sure he was poisoned? Then how are we supposed to turn this around? I think we need to establish the method by which Mr. Shamspear is actually poisoned. Our only hope is to demonstrate that to the court incontrovertibly. But that's surely almost impossible at this stage. If we don't manage it, though, Mr. Natsume will be found guilty.
No delays, counsel. Proceed with the summation examination at once.
Okay. Jury examination. The defense's rebuttal. Next time on Great Ace Attorney 2. Adios, ciao, and bye-bye. Signing off until next time. Ja, mata ne.